We had concern because that was, she was halved at that point.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for attending. It's the February 26th, give it a second to adjust. There we go. No worries, no worries. February 26th, 2026 meeting of the Olentangy Board of Education. I'll call this meeting to order. Mr. Jenkins, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Lester?
Here.
Dr. Daberco?
Here.
Dr. Wallach?
Here.
Ms. Schreiber?
Here.
All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have one amendment to the agenda, just a slight correction to our executive session that we will have a little bit later. So that has been amended, the reasons for going into executive session. So I will now entertain a motion to approve the
Lester,
agenda. Oh,
Can we
yes.
pause for just a minute? It got
I apologize
unclicked
for
again.
talking too
No,
fast.
it's okay. It got unclicked.
Well, I'll just say that we had this amendment to the agenda, so once we're ready, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended, but I will wait until the system's ready.
Now we're ready.
All right, so I
So
will.
moved.
All right, and a second.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Jenkins.
Mr. Lester?
Yes.
Dr. Daberco?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber?
Yes.
All right, time for the board president's report. Well, first of all, we are always so happy to welcome so many people to our board meetings. We appreciate you all coming out. Luckily, it's, we're not dealing with snow or anything tonight, so it's a great time to be here at the board meeting. And we appreciate everyone coming. We especially appreciate when we have student presenters. We're very excited to have you all come in and share what you've been working on here with us. For the board president's report, one of the great joys of being on a board is that you get to work with people of incredible expertise, incredible thoughtfulness, and people really at all different stages of their career. And together we make the district better by bringing our expertise and our thoughtfulness to bear. The last couple of board meetings, we've been talking about some retirements on the district leadership team, including Mr. Smith, Ms. Carter-Evans, and some other people that will be retiring here at points in the future. And it's always a great time to recognize the work that they've done to make the district better. At the same time, when people are choosing to retire, sometimes people want different things. Some people want giant celebrations. Sometimes people want to go a little bit quietly out of it. So why am I bringing all of this up? Well, we have an empty seat up here this evening at our board meeting. And one of our board members, Mr. Kevin O'Brien, has been on the board for 17 years. He was first appointed back in 2010 and then subsequently was reelected in 2011 and 2015, 2019, and 2023. That is a lot of elections. As someone who has gone through 2 elections, I can tell you 2 is a lot. 4 is really a lot. Over those years of service, Olentangy has grown tremendously. It has been an incredible time in the history of this district as we've grown, tons of schools, tons of new students. We've seen, really this area change substantially. And this board, we as board members are incredibly fortunate to stand on the shoulders of our prior board members who have used their good judgment and thoughtfulness to make the district a better place. And we are always so appreciative of everybody. Mr. Meyer says this a lot, and I want to echo that it's an honor to serve with people on the board who are here for the right reasons, who are committed to trying to make the district better. And sometimes people want to, when they decide it's time to go, want to go out with very little fanfare, and we respect Mr. O'Brien's wish to do that. So he submitted a letter of resignation now after 17 years on the board, and he asked that we read that rather than appearing. And so I will read his letter of resignation into the record here. Dear members of the Olentangy Local Schools Board of Education, after careful reflection, I'm submitting my resignation from the Olentangy Local Schools Board of Education effective immediately. This decision comes after 17 years of dedicated service to our students, families, staff, and community. It has been one of the greatest honors of my life to serve on this board. Over nearly 2 decades, I've had the privilege of working alongside committed educators, administrators, and fellow board members who share a deep belief in the transformative power of public education. Together, we have navigated periods of tremendous growth, made difficult decisions, and celebrated the many achievements that have shaped Olentangy into the exceptional district it is today. I am profoundly grateful for the trust the community placed in me throughout these years. I have always taken that responsibility seriously and have approached every decision with the goal of supporting student success and preserving the high standards that define this district. While it is not easy to step away, I am confident that Olentangy Local Schools remains in strong, capable hands. I look forward to supporting the district in new ways and continuing to cheer on its future successes. Thank you for the opportunity to serve and for the collaboration and mutual respect that have characterized my time on the board. Sincerely, Kevin G. O'Brien. Mr. O'Brien has been an incredibly thoughtful source of wisdom, of institutional knowledge, of expertise. A lot of times you see our decisions, we vote 5-0 and people think, well, we just all agree on everything. That's not true. We actually have really thoughtful and productive discussion, but it's all in service of the greater good and of making decisions on behalf of the broader district. So we are deeply appreciative of Mr. O'Brien's time on the board. Really a long time. I mean, that's a lot of service, and it has led to incredibly positive things in the district. So we are deeply appreciative. It's been an honor to serve alongside him. Appreciate his very thoughtful letter of resignation, and I just want to take a moment to give a round of applause and thank him for that. I told him we offered to have clowns and cake and stuff, and that's apparently not. So this is the way that we'll recognize him. We'll look forward to other ways to recognize him in the future, and just I want to again appreciate him for all of his service. So what does that mean when a board member resigns? That's a very good question. So that is the main focus of the board president's report tonight. So we have a couple of slides here on how we fill a vacancy on the Olentangy Schools Board of Education. So the reasons for a vacancy, there can be a lot of reasons for a vacancy. Number 4 here is voluntary resignation. That's what we're facing. They all sort of work functionally the same, but those are the reasons statutorily why a vacancy may arise. Once we are notified that a board member is resigning, under the Ohio Revised Code, the remaining members of the Board of Education may begin the process to fill a vacancy immediately upon notification. The board cannot appoint someone until 10 days after notification of the vacancy, but we must appoint someone within 30 days. So we have a 20-day window, 10 days after today, and no more than up to 30 days by which we have to appoint someone. That individual will then serve the remainder of Mr. O'Brien's current term, which ends on December 31st, 2027. We have a process that we have used before. There have been other instances in which people have resigned and then we filled that vacancy through an appointment process. So the first step is that we announce the vacancy, which happened here on February 26th. We then typically have around a 2-week window for people to apply, and we'll have an application process that we will launch tomorrow for members of the community that wish to apply for this. You will be required to submit a resume and cover letter and some information about yourself. You can then submit those applications, and then after we get those, we as members of the board will meet to consider them and then decide which individuals we wish to interview. And we'll go through an interview process to try to understand their qualifications, their background, their perspective, and then on or before March 28th, 2026, which also happens to be the beginning of spring break. So right before we all go on spring break, we will appoint a new member to the board, and then they will be a regular member up until the end of their term and go from there. So it's a pretty quick time period that we'll start working through. What I would say is this is a job to take seriously. Right? It is a very challenging thing to be a board member, but it is one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done. I think that's true for all of us. I have never felt so connected to my community as I have being on this board, but if you're going to do it, you have to put in the work. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of sacrifice and commitment, and a lot of hard work, because this is a great district. And it is a district that is growing. It is facing challenges at state funding levels, facing challenges of growth, and a lot of other things. It requires connecting with the community, advocating for the community, speaking up about issues that are impacting the schools, and trying to make a difference. I'm so incredibly fortunate to serve with board members that do that exceptionally well, and we'll be looking for someone else who does this exceptionally well. And we know a lot of people are out there. There are a lot of people that will be great at this, and we encourage you to apply. A couple of comments. We will consider all applicants, to be sure. I would say a couple of things. One, if you're going to be in this role, for the next year and a half, that comes up to an election that will be happening in the next year and a half. So we'd certainly, be looking for someone that wants to try to run again, that is actually interested in continuing service with the community. We also are looking for people with additional perspectives that we may not have. There's a lot of things that the district faces. Mr. O'Brien had a very great financial acumen, a lot of other areas of expertise. And so when we look at candidates, we'll be asking, what expertise do you bring to the board? What perspective that will help us in our decision making, that will help us in our efforts to promote public education? Those are going to be important factors. So we really encourage people to be thoughtful about your qualifications, your background, the sorts of things that will help this board move into the future and help support all the students that are in this room and across the district community. So we really hope that we'll see a lot of people apply, even though that's a lot of applications. We'd rather have a lot of applications than just one or two. And I really, really, really want to stress, it's a great job, right? You get a front row seat to just some of the most amazing stuff that you will ever see. You get to see students excel and just grow, and you get to see the power of public education. What a gift that is, right? So it's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it. And I apologize that my voice is sort of giving out on me because I've been talking a lot today. Anybody else have any other comments or anything to add? Any of them?
Well, I was to follow up on this. I mean, I was appointed to the Board of Education in May of 22. And so I had already been planning. I had already been thinking about running for this office when it would be available potentially in 2023. So then when the seat became open, that's what really interested me, because it was a path I was already considering, because I'm so passionate about public education. And so just kind of reiterating what you said, that this is going to fulfill the rest of Mr. O'Brien's term, but then that person could then decide to run to keep their seat and continue on this great work. And I have to say about Mr. O'Brien, he was so welcoming to me as a new school board member. I don't know if you guys remember this, but you appointed me and swore me in, and I came up and sat in a chair like immediately that night from the audience. I was baptism by fire. But everyone, and Mr. O'Brien especially, he was. I very much appreciated his, again, historical context and knowledge. I'm looking at this audience tonight, and I'm like, he's served on this board for 17 years. There's a whole lot of people out there that haven't been alive that long. And that's how much he gave to this community. That says so much. So his experience will be very missed.
Thank you. That's good. Well, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Are we going down the line? I can't say enough good things about Mr. O'Brien. His perspective will be sorely missed as someone who first of all, does not know anything about finance. It's been very helpful to have his perspective in some of these discussions. But overall, I think I moved to the district in 2008, so he's been on the board almost the entire time that I've lived here. And he's seen the district grow. I mean, I think at the time there was one high school, now there's gonna be 5.
There's probably 2.
Or were there 2, yeah.
2, and then 08.
Yeah. So, I mean, and we're still on this growth path. We're not done. We're building an elementary school and a high school, so I'm really appreciative for the groundwork that's been laid, but the work is not done, and we can certainly look to the past to help us, see our future. And so again, just reiterating my gratitude to Mr. O'Brien for his service, and to encourage community members, if you're interested in public education, please put your name forward. This is, I don't want to diminish that this is a hard job, but it's a very rewarding, and it's very specialized. So and you can learn all this stuff along the way. So don't let it intimidate you, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's specific to schools, about school finance, school building and construction, that's just unique from anything else. But there's a lot of resources out there that we lean on. Everybody's sitting here with their copy of the Ohio School Boards Association magazine, so there's a lot of resources out there to learn about this kind of stuff. And if you've been involved at all, even with like a PTO, or your kids, sports teams or after school activities, that's a good on-ramp to learn more about this and learn about how sort of the bigger picture of how public schools operate, and how you can help serve the community in other ways. Because even if you decide maybe not to run for school board or apply for this, there's always opportunities to help out at the district level with our committees and things like that. So thank you so much for being here, for considering it, and for giving back to a community that I know that gives so much to our kids.
He wrote in his letter, it's a privilege of a lifetime to serve, and I would say that it's been a privilege of a lifetime to serve with him. I learned so much from him about what is involved with being a board member. He understood what the role of board member was. He understood what that looks like meeting by meeting. People have very little idea of how impactful he was to help oversee growth while keeping costs manageable. That's a big deal. He understood. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know, and I'm just really thankful to have worked with him. We had one major disagreement. He was a Red Sox fan, and for me that's untenable as a Cleveland fan. But everything else we discussed and we worked through and we learned, and I just really am very humbled to have worked with him. And his expertise in school finance is, you don't replace giants in this type of work. You just try and keep everything you've learned from them and continue to make a difference for the kids. And in his resignation letter, that's what it was all about. So I'll miss working with him, and I appreciate him.
I will say it's a little disappointing after 17 years. It took him until last year to figure out that these were touch screens. But we'll let that slide.
That's true. So in the board update, and I'm sure we'll have it on the website as well, we'll have all of this information up for people starting tomorrow. So come on, apply, join us. It's a lot of fun, and you get a free bottle of water every day, so that's great.
That's a perk.
That is a perk. That is a perk. All right.
And computers with touch screens.
And computers with touch screens. So that's great. So with that, we will move on to the rest of our regular agenda, and it gets to our favorite part of it's always tough because we put the students first, and then everybody else has to follow them. So it's always a tough act to follow. But we're always so happy to have students come and present for us. So we're welcoming the Olentangy Element Codes. Did I pronounce that correctly? I hope so. And got a whole bunch of people here and a bunch of students, so we'll look forward to hearing from you all. So welcome.
Great, thank you. My name is Michelle Seitz, and I am the very proud principal of Walnut Creek Elementary. Mr. Daverco, I'm also an Indians fan, so we'll get along just fine. I just wanted to tell a quick story about this young lady standing beside me. So Bianca Elling is the current Olentangy Orange High School student, but she's a former Walnut Creek student. And last year, she called me on the phone and said, I would like to set up an appointment to talk to you. I said, okay, that doesn't happen very often. Your former students don't ask for appointments with you. But I met with her, and she came in. It felt and looked like she brought a business plan with her. It was very detailed, it had lesson plans, and she had this dream to start an elementary coding club in our district. And her dream is not just Walnut Creek. She started there because she knows me and she thought I would be open to it, but she would like to see it in every elementary. So she's working hard with our technology department to try to grow that. But I agreed to it. We started last year. She's going to tell you a little more about that. But I have to tell you, coming tonight, I am so proud of her and I am so proud of the kids that we brought with us tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to Bianca.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bianca Elling. I'm a junior at Olentangy Orange High School. Thank you, Ms. Seitz, for introducing me. I also want to thank Ms. Seitz for being willing to be the advisor for this coding program, because it wouldn't exist if it weren't for her staying after school with us every Wednesday. So with that, I'll go ahead and start. So what is Olentangy Element Code? So it's an after-school computer science and coding program for Olentangy 4th and 5th graders, and I started it at Walnut Creek Elementary School in the fall of 2024. And then the overview of my presentation, I'm going to talk about why I started it, the logistics of the program, an example lesson, future goals, and then we'll end on some student examples. So why I started the program, so the first computer science class I took was in 6th grade. It was called Discovering Computers, and I really enjoyed it, and then at that point I hadn't really had that much exposure to computer science, and I continued to take classes in middle school and now in high school as well. But I kept thinking, like, oh, I never had this opportunity in elementary school, and we have, like, reading, science, math, social studies, the 4 core subjects all throughout elementary, middle, and high school, but we don't have computer science, and it truly is its own subject. And so I wanted to give elementary students a chance to be able to learn computer science in elementary school before they hit middle school. So the logistics of the program, we've experimented with various timelines. Last school year, we started in October and went to April, but this school year, because of some scheduling conflicts, we started in January and went to April. It's once per week after school from 3:40 to 4:30 p.m., so 50 minutes. And then I create lessons and labs, which are like little exercises or practice problems for the kids to do. And then at the end, we do something really fun. All the kids get to make like a final project, and that really helps express their creativity and what their individualistic passions in computer science. So next, I'm going to go into an example lesson of what I teach, and I use a block-based coding language, which is important because it allows the kids to focus on the fundamental principles of computer science versus in a text language, you have to know computer science and know the syntax. So that's why I chose a block-based coding language. And this is an example of my notes. So what I do is I go into the coding program and I take screenshots of the main blocks that we're going to be using, and I put them in a Google Doc and write explanations for each one. And I try to focus on one main concept each week. So this was the first week. We focused on sprites, which are just little characters that can be a part of your code. And then this is the second week's notes. We focused on the logic tab in the coding program using if-else statements. So I really try to organize it skill by skill so that the students aren't overwhelmed. And I try to provide explanations, and then I teach this to the class by on the board and demonstrating. And I also give them examples of what the code would look like if they were to code it. And then after I teach a lesson, we do a lab, which is where they get a chance to practice, because especially in computer science, you really need to practice the skill to make sure you have it. It's not enough just to hear it. And so this was an example of our first lab, and it essentially had the kids practice the skill of user input, where they were asking the user, where they would code the programs that it asks the user, what should the pet's name be? And then the user would enter a name, and then it would display the name in the top left corner, as we can see here. So just doing simple labs, I think really helps them learn and then be able to complete more complex projects later on. And then another example of a lab is for our if-else unit. We were focusing on, depending on the different weather types, the program would suggest different clothing pieces to wear. And so that is a very important part of computer science, that selection based on the option types. And so I give them a chance to work, and then once everyone's in a good stopping point, I code the program up on the board so they can check what they coded against what more the key has, and so they can kind of see a comparison of what they did. This is just an example of the program. And so future goals, like Ms. Seitz mentioned, my ultimate goal is to have this coding club in all Olentangy elementary schools. I currently have 2 other elementary schools that have agreed to host it, but we do need high school volunteers, and that's a really big thing. That we do need the volunteers to come and teach the coding program. And then next we have some student examples, starting with Alex and Nandu.
Hi, my name is Alex, and this is Nandu. And today we are going to present our project called Treasure Hunt.
In this game, the user must type a username to start the game. Once completed, the user must try and get apples and carrots, while avoiding planes and using special abilities, space for going forward and W for going backward. Once the score at the top hits 10, it will show a You Win screen, symbolizing that you have completed the game successfully.
So next we have another student example. He unfortunately couldn't make it, but we can still play his video. It's counting how many carrots the rabbit eats. There's like a counter at the top.
Yeah.
Cool.
These are like long
Yeah.
scripts. They're not basic.
Yeah.
And then next we have Neil.
Hi, my name is Neil Bantam, and I'm a 5th grader at Walnut Creek. I coded Flappy Bird, where the point of the game is to get through the obstacles. I made 3 levels, with 1 being the easiest and 3 being the hardest. I couldn't beat this one.
That looks like when I play Flappy Bird or try to play Flappy Bird.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Can we ask questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I feel like I went first last time. I let Dr.
all right.
Daver go.
That's all right.
I just was curious if you have any sort of recruitment plan for drawing in other high school students, and you're at Orange. I don't know if the other elementaries are more in your neck of the woods, or if they're, if they're west side, east side, north, south, whatever. Are you looking at other high schools, or what's that process looking like for you?
Yeah, so the 2 elementary schools that have advisors, so Liberty High School is the closest to one of them, and then Berlin High School is the closest to the other one. Orange is kind of far away. And so I'm working with the director of instructional technology to facilitate that. I made Google Forms for high schoolers to sign up, and we've been trying to send those out. So far, so at Berlin, there has been 1 person, and at Liberty, there haven't been high school volunteers who signed up, so it is challenging, but I'm hoping that we can get it worked out. And I think one of the reasons why it's challenging is because they need to know computer science, so that could be why, but I'm hoping that we can start it up. Even if we only have 1 person per elementary school, that would be fine.
Well, what I love about this is that was your idea, first of all, and that the district allows students who have these great ideas to flourish and really see them through. And yes, right now it's just at one school and you're struggling a little bit to get volunteers, but as the word gets out, I am sure that this will grow and grow. And maybe after you graduate, maybe you'll be gone, but your legacy will stay with the district. And that's really awesome to see and something you should be really proud of. And the programming is great, and thank you so much, Mrs. Seitz, for letting her get the opportunity to do this, because all it takes is one teacher, one person to help you with your vision. And look at what you've already done. I can't wait to see what else you're able to accomplish with this.
Thank you.
Mr. Meyer, Bianca, talking to her before we started, she's presenting a difficult challenge for your academic team. And I hope I don't embarrass you, but she's expired all of your math and science, computer science classes, and most of them before she was done with driver's ed.
Yeah.
So we need to add more. What is after calculus? Rocket science? I don't know. So she needs some more math classes, because as a junior,
Yeah,
she's-
we'll continue to adapt. Are you taking any CCP courses?
Right now, no, not math CCP. No.
Yeah.
She might have already finished those, I don't know, but just really incredible. And she had a great theoretical knowledge first. She put it into action, make a difference for kids. Thankful to parents and family for letting you be part of the Olentangy family. And it's pretty cool to have a legacy when you're, a junior, right? So good for you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
and,
go ahead.
well, I was just going to add to, when you sparked the passion early on and you identified a need, and then paying it forward is what you're doing. And then Ms. Seitz, thank you for allowing her to, provide the space. And I think maybe some of the students here at Walnut Creek could be future ambassadors for the program as well.
Yeah.
More work, Neil.
It sets a great example, and I hope you see how cool it can be when somebody has an idea and then they help you guys out with it. So that's great. So just curious with, and we can go back.
We have a late arrival. This is Eli Jefferson.
Eli?
They saw your
Excuse late
project,
arrival.
but would you like to tell them about it?
Yeah, can you?
Okay, Bianca, can you direct him to go back to it? This is it. Okay, perfect.
My name is Elijah Jefferson, and I made this project. I call it Sprite Run, and it's a game where you have to try to collect all those carrots. And yeah. And at 16 seconds, it will all stop and show you what your score is.
Nice, good job. Appreciate you rushing over here to the board meeting to present to us. And that's,
Can I just add one
Yeah.
thing? We had a whole different group of kids that did it last year, so many of those kids have moved on to Berkshire. But when we were asked to present this, we only started this class in January. So they're not done, they're not to their final projects. This is really very early in the process, so I am so proud of them. They're so amazing. They've picked up so quickly and done so well, so thank you for coming over, buddy.
well, thank you a lot. That was great. We always appreciate, not only the power of learning that this, instills in you, but also inspiring others, right? So keep on doing that, right? Throughout as you go through college and through your career and all of those things, just see how cool it can be to inspire others to do great things. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you all for your amazing work here. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So you all are free to stay for the rest of the board meeting if you wish. You do not have to. So if you want to go, you're free to. But either way, it's okay. Thank you. Yep, thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
AP Gov has to stay?
Yeah.
Is this one whole section or multiple? You guys from multiple classes from Berlin? Multiple? So what's your prediction on Monday? Snow? Right now, I've seen anything from 1 to 5 inches. It's not going to stick? I'm ready for spring and the summer, but, well, thanks again for being here. I prepared some remarks to, just to honor Mr. O'Brien as a board member. So I'd like to read those as the start of my superintendent's report. So tonight, Mr. O'Brien resigned after 17 years of accomplished board service. Serving the past 17 years as an Olentangy Schools board member spans the opening of 7 school buildings, the enrollment increase of over 10,000 students, hiring 2 new superintendents, 3 new treasurers, and served during the hiring of countless teachers, administrators, and classified staff. It covers multiple redistricting processes, a global pandemic, and the establishment of a district-wide strategic plan instrumental in guiding the work of the district. Through these milestones and many other events, Mr. O'Brien has led as a board member with bold and visionary leadership. He placed genuine trust in the people around him and celebrated the numerous achievements that have helped shape Olentangy Schools into the exceptional district it is today. It has been a tremendous honor to work alongside Mr. O'Brien. I first met him as a parent when I was principal at Orange High School, and then worked with him as a board member during my time as Olentangy's Chief Operations Officer and now a superintendent. Over this span of time, I have witnessed Mr. O'Brien approach every decision, whether school or district related, with an unwavering commitment to student success and a deep respect for the high standards that define Olentangy, which a lot of all of you talked about. Mr. O'Brien led the board as board president for 6 different year-long terms, served as vice president several times, and contributed as a member in many thoughtful and meaningful ways throughout his tenure. He has led with quiet strength and genuine humility, and I'm deeply grateful to have had him as a thought partner and mentor. The wisdom and perspective he has shared with me throughout our time working together has left a huge impact, both professionally and personally. While Mr. O'Brien's presence on our board will be greatly missed, I appreciate knowing that his impact on this community will last for years to come. I often talk about being grateful, and tonight, not only am I grateful for his dedicated servant leadership to this community and our students over nearly 20 years, and his advocacy for public education, but personally, I'm proud and grateful to call him a true friend. So I wanted to prepare that, and again, echo a lot of what you all said in honoring Mr. O'Brien, but he will truly, truly be missed, and extremely grateful for the many years of service that he's provided to the district and this community. Okay? All right. So I want to highlight a few things in the superintendent report. So as you know, we're in math competition season. So Mathletes competed in the 2026 Math Counts Franklin County Chapter Regional Competition on February 7th. So you can see, again, performed extremely well. So we had students from all 6 Olentangy middle schools participate, and you can see there moving on to the state competition at The Ohio State University on March 7th. We have a first place team from Orange Middle School and a third place team from Liberty Middle, and then individuals there, 6 individuals who will be moving on to state competition. So we wish them the best. That's next weekend coming up. Also want to highlight, so in 35 years, this is in my top 5. Top 5 of all experiences. As a teacher, coach, athletic director, assistant principal, and now a superintendent. But this is really cool. So we had student representatives from the 4th grade at Wyandotte Run. They sent me letters because they were not happy with the current selection of the syrup in their school cafeteria. So I read the letters and just you chuckle at it's just unbelievable. So I said, you know what? This is a good opportunity to help solve a problem. So I worked with the communications department and Mrs. Lenko from food service to ask about what if we go over there and have them do a taste testing competition or contest for them to select what we can do. And we had to make sure that we still fell within the guidelines of the food service, and because there's a lot of guidelines, so we had to make sure that we fell within the guidelines. So Mrs. Lenko blessed that. So we went over there and selected 3 different syrups, and Mr. Ross, Principal Ross, selected 8 students to come on stage to do the taste testing, and then they got to evaluate each syrup on just on appearance, and then obviously the taste of the syrup. So they, and all 8 of them, they came to, based on taste, they came to consensus. And so when they announced the winner, that 4th grade, so it says 120, I think it was 120 plus 4th graders in that cafeteria. It was like they hit the last second shot to win a basketball game. That place went crazy. So again, we talk a lot about teacher voice, student voice, but this is an example. And I told all the 4th graders too, it's okay to have concerns and present problems, but come at those problems with potential solutions. And I framed it at home with mom and dad, like when you're with mom and dad. But it was, again, like I said, one of my top 5 experiences of all times. And again, when you go through your school journey, pre-K through 12, you create a lot of memories. And I think this is one that these 4th graders will remember for a long time. But that was a lot of fun that afternoon.
You could have a dramatic reading if you like. I know for those of you out, you can't see it because it's so like my favorite. Like the PS, you wouldn't like it either. PSS, the syrup is blah blah blah. Like it's
yeah,
amazing.
They got our attention for sure. Oh yeah, but it was great.
Yeah.
So. Also, Oak Creek Elementary welcomed former Ohio State and NFL quarterback wide receiver Braxton Miller as part of the Team Trestle Fitness Challenge. So this is really a charge from the governor to promote fitness within schools. So we here in Olentangy have 16 total schools participating in the Team Trestle Fitness Challenge this year. So 12 at the elementary level and then 4 middle schools. So students receive workbooks and create SMART goals in 5 categories: cardio, strength, flexibility, nutrition, and sleep. So we're excited, and we have a lot of kids participating. So I think he's coming back next week, Peach Blow. He'll be coming back to Peach Blow Crossing next week. So, and we are still in competition season, so want to congratulate Shanahan Middle School Leading Tones. Her having a great start to their season. So on February 14th, they competed against 8 middle schools at the Loveland Show Fest. So Leading Tones won, look at this, grand champion, best vocals, best choreography, best band. And then on February 20th, didn't stop on the February 14th, so February 20th, they competed against 3 middle school show choirs at the Kenton Cup and won, again, grand champion, grand vocals, best choreography, festival, best, so a lot of awards there.
That means
and
that they beat the high schoolers as well for best crew and best show concept.
And Ms. Schreiber has a child,
6th
Lydia.
grader, Lydia. Yeah,
Yep.
she's in the far left peeking out on the top picture, and yeah, like right next to the girl in the black shirt in the bottom one. So yeah, it's been an awesome experience. The kids are so supportive of each other, and I think it really shows. The parents too are super supportive. The Kenton Cup was actually, Shanahan was the only school competing. Typically they compete at the same competitions with the high schoolers, but it was just the middle school. And the high school parents came to help with the crew. High school students came to help with the crew. The band is high school students, so they did not have to do that. And they all showed up for the middle school kids. And so I think that's just like really emblematic of how Olentangy community shows up for each other, even if it's not directly your kid who's in that. And so I'm really appreciative of that, the whole group. Mr. Sullivan is an English teacher, and he's in charge of these kids. And yes, Mrs. Silcott has made a fantastic choir program, and she is assistant director, but Mr. Sullivan doesn't get enough credit for what he's done to really pick this up off the ground. There was a middle school show choir at Shanahan several years ago, and it kind of dropped off, and he really picked up the mantle. And in his second year, I know they won a bunch of competitions last year too, but look at what they've already accomplished in their second year.
Yeah,
so it's really inspiring. The kids have a great time. It's a really positive environment, and I'm just so proud of them and
absolutely.
thankful for.
And this is just another example of student experiences that they'll remember for a long time. So, yeah. All right, superintendent action items. So you can see, again, we'll continue to have retirements presented. So you can see the retirements. So up there, Mark Curtis, I wanted to point him out. So he wins the prize, 38 years. And then collectively, with all of our retirements, 152 years across the retirees. So 152 years of service. So again, always want to thank our retirees for their service to Olentangy, to our students, to our families over the years. And then also have part of my superintendent action items, students for early graduation. We have student fees, which we'll have a discussion item, so Dr. Blackley will discuss recommendations for changes in student fees for the 26-27 school year. We have approval of student club and overnight out-of-state trip on there. And then we have quite a few superintendent action items from the business department. So Mr. Gordon, back by popular demand, it seems like every board meeting, but he'll be back up here to discuss these items and answer any questions the board may have before you vote. Upcoming important dates: registration opens for summer enrichment Sunday, March 1st. So this is another exciting opportunity. So Monday, March 2nd. So Show Olentangy Schools Special Olympics, some love. Students versus staff basketball game will be at Berlin High School on March 2nd at 6:30. So if you're looking for something to do, it's a great event. End of the third quarter. Approaching here quickly, March 12th, Teacher Workday, no school March 13th. Elementary School 18, so groundbreaking ceremony Thursday, March 26th at 5 p.m. So Mr. Lesser, we were talking about that today. It's at 5 p.m. So that's scheduled, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for good weather, right? Yes. On March 26th, and then next regular Board of Education meeting, Tuesday, March 10th. So that's a Tuesday, March 10th. We originally moved the date up, so at 6:30 right here. All right.
All right, any questions for Mr. Meyer? All right, thank you, Mr. Meyer. Mr. Jenkins, Treasurer's Report.
Good evening, board members. Forgive my insalubrious condition this evening. Despite that, I will lift up my countenance and move on. I would like to take just a moment to thank Mr. O'Brien. When I was interested in this job first back in the fall of 2022, one of the first people that I had a chance to meet with and discuss it with was Kevin O'Brien. He has been an absolute avid supporter of what we do as a district. He has been a fantastic person to get to know, to work for, to work with. But I also wish him the absolute best, because when it's time to move on and you want to move on, well, then that's what you ought to do. So good for him. This evening, my presentation is pretty straightforward. We're just accepting essentially 4 items as a part of a consent calendar, but then we do have one item that cannot be approved as a part of a consent calendar. Even though the items are all on one resolution, it has to be a separate deliberation and separate matter than the other 4. So the 4 that will be a part of a consent agenda would be the January 2026 monthly financials, donations of 46 document cameras from the Olentangy Meadows PTO to Meadows Elementary. Recommend approval of the May 5th, February 5th board meeting minutes, the fiscal year 2026 amended permanent appropriation resolution. One of the biggest changes that you'll see is we're fully appropriated, so to speak, for what we're planning in the building fund for all of our construction on elementary 18, high school 5, and some of our various other projects. And then finally, I guess this is the fifth item, approval of the restated 403B plan document. The IRS is pretty persnickety with different things, and when things change, you have to bring it back and just simply make sure for compliance purposes that you're restating the plan consistent with some of those changes. Those will be one motion, one action, unless the board decides to vote on an item separately. And then finally, a separate item that's just a part of Treasurer's action items would be the approval of the Board of Revision resolutions. Recall the reason we do this. We deliberated, we passed policy. We want our residents to pay their fair share, but not what someone else might have to pay. And the way we do that is by making sure that values are appropriate. So there are Board of Revision complaints, and our policy says that we essentially file on commercial and industrial. We do not file Board of Revision complaints on private individuals, on residents. That's just something that we do not do. So you'll see a spate of several items where, in general, most of these are triggered by the property owner either deciding that they want to have almost always a lower value, or there are recent sales of these properties that support a value that is different than what they're currently being assessed. Again, no goal at all to simply try to drive up someone's taxes. Rather, it is an equalization process, and the goal is to equalize and ensure everybody has a fair tax bill. So if there are any questions about any of those items, I will entertain them.
I would just say, I mean, it is, we hear a lot from residents about the importance of reducing costs wherever we can. And part of that is being mindful of our operations and looking for cost savings where we can. And part of that is, making sure that people aren't being unjustly charged for things. So that's where, we see commercial or industrial that maybe isn't quite at the value that should be, the taxes aren't quite right, then that's where we step in and say that we believe it should be a little bit different. We're not going after, it's not a residential homeowner thing. It is truly those commercial and industrial. And it's just trying to make sure that the value is right so that the taxes are right, so that we're not overburdening residential taxpayers. It's just part of our commitment to keep costs as low as we possibly can.
That's exactly right. What happens when you have a BOR is the size of the pie for the district really doesn't change. How the pie is cut up is all that changes. So that's what the goal of these are.
Yeah. Okay, any questions? Good. All right, thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
And we did not get any public participation forms.
Okay, great, appreciate it. Okay, so we will then move on to our first discussion item, which is Dr. Blackley talking about the student fees.
Good evening, board members. I too just want to acknowledge and value Mr. O'Brien's service to the community and to the board. And sorry to see him move on, but hope he enjoys the next chapter. Drop my pen. I now have a very riveting and exciting presentation about school fees, but just to give you some background information on where we are this year with our recommendations for school fees. First of all, some context. We have hundreds. So speaking Dr. Dabico to offerings for our students. We offer hundreds of courses, over 1,000 different options for kids when we consider things like the Career Center and our academy and our CCP options. So with that, we currently assess curricular or co-curricular fees for 165 high school courses. 32 of those fees will increase for the 26-27 school year. 10 of them will actually decrease. We do have 13 district fees that are for extracurricular activities, pay to participate fees, and 12 of those will remain the same. So a quick overview at our high school. Here's the good news. Usually, over the years, we continue to have increases on our AP testing fees. This year, they're holding the course. They're not increasing. Additionally, over the past few years, we've increased our workbook cost for our AP courses, and that primarily was due to shipping. So I want to shout out to Lisa Calabrese and the teaching and learning team. Contacted our vendors, and we organized and actually have a contract to hold those shipping fees steady, so we don't have an increase there on that. We do have some program needs. For example, we do use for summer school, for OASIS, for credit recovery. In the past, we've used the online program Apex. We transitioned for this school year to Schools PLP, and so that was a slight increase in that platform. Additionally, we have supplies for CTE 26 pathway courses and membership into Skills USA. Dr. Sander, our Director of Secondary Teaching and Learning, she should be commended on working with our academy on taking the courses that we're offering at the academy and creating the CTE pathways. And why that's important is then the students can then transfer that technical credit to state institutions of higher education. The Skills USA also provides those students with credentials. So it has added a whole other layer to that programming. Of course, we have some just generalized fees there. Marching Flag Corps, those poles seem to be going up in price, so we see an increase there. A new fee that's being added is the parking violation fee. And the reason for that is, of course, we have in our handbook, we expect, right, for safety purposes, so we know what vehicles we have on our property. We expect students to park in designated areas, to complete a registration form, and also to display a permit. So we do have students that don't follow those guidelines, so we're proposing that a parking violation fee of a maximum of $20 be assessed. And then in middle school, not a lot going on there. We did see an increase in 6th grade for paperback novels. Of course, kids in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade are given those consumable novels so that they can teach the skills of annotating. So it's important that students have that ability to do that annotation in those paperback novels. So it does create an overall fee of $20 for consumable language arts materials. Agenda books are going up $1, and that very simply is there's 2 different sizes, whatever 8 by 9, whatever 8.5 by 11. The larger size is what they're now preferring, and so they're going to transition to that. And then some just general cost of living increases in terms of global gourmet, right? The groceries increase. And we also do see an increase in our world language workbooks. With all that being said, at elementary, we continue to have fees remain at 0, and there's no proposed changes. Are there any questions on fees?
Questions?
So just trying to understand that we might be different than a retail or a commercial place where you would go and normally purchase stuff and go, goodness sake, $6 for Yukon Gold potatoes seems like a lot. It was $4 last year. Is this driven by by our desire to grab more of a profit margin on these things, or what drives these increases?
No, the vendors and the suppliers. I literally just yesterday morning had a conversation with Mark Camella at Liberty High School about the increasing cost of cats for our anatomy and physiology classes, and looking at other opportunities or suppliers of cats for the dissections. And because it seems like we're seeing an increase in all things. So, yeah, driven by our vendors.
I'm thrown off by the cats thing.
Okay, sorry.
I'm thinking about my cat right now at
Yeah,
home.
I know.
And if he's
As-
watching, he's hiding.
I know. All cats, just close, yeah, cover
Let's
your
just go
cat's
with
ears, folks. Cover your
Maybe we
cat's
go
ears.
with lab materials. So again, it's just driven by vendor adjustments, and
Yes.
really, the reason we have to increase it because it helps distribute the cost to the kids that are using them.
Correct. And I do want to also say that this year, the process was a little different. This is a little earlier than we usually propose the fees. We actually started our fee conversations back in the fall in conjunction with our course guide committee. And really, the teaching and learning team did a great job at looking at what are we charging for? What are the resources? Are there other resources we can use that may be cheaper, or other vendors? And/or are there other ways for us to advance the goal rather than the learning goal, rather than purchasing the resources? So we really did a deep dive in that this year, and we'll continue to do so.
Dr. Daverco, I think maybe what you might be hinting at is there is no margin.
Right.
We are assessing
You're right.
exactly what the supplies and materials cost. There's not a profit margin for the
Thank
district.
you, Ryan, for that, because I also want to say that these are maximums. So what happens then in August is actually the fee secretaries will sit down and look at very specifically what was the cost. So let's say the maximum fee for a class is $25, but they will look at what was ordered and realize it was $17, then it would be a $17 charge to the parents. It's not going to be the maximum.
This isn't a market move.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's important to recognize. I don't remember when it was, Mr. Meyer, but maybe 24 months ago, we adjusted fees downward.
Yeah, it's exactly
It
that.
just wasn't even cost effective to try and collect 42 cents for something. So we eliminated that fee. So I appreciate your hard work in making sure that the fees reflect the use and not a penny more.
Yeah, and I think I was going to bring up too that I know that we didn't always have zero elementary school fees either. So that's something that that I appreciate that the district takes care of, so that our elementary families don't have to worry about that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dr. Blackman. All right, Mr. Gordon for a business and facilities update.
So when you come up, it's time to go.
Again, 2 meetings in a row.
Have a good, be safe, guys, be safe.
Oh, yeah. Well, happy to be here again tonight. I think about all the money we're spending up here. It does make me wonder how many cats we could buy with this money, but
You know this is a horrible conversation because I love my cat, and this is just unbelievable.
I think we all do. I think
already
these
talked
are
about
some
that at
that
home.
maybe we're going
My
that
daughter said
direction
she's not
anyhow,
taking
so.
anatomy and physiology because she's
Yeah.
not doing the cat.
If anybody wants to donate the cat's body to science, we can work through that.
Be very altruistic.
Yeah, it's true.
Jeez, what's wrong with you?
I know this. So buildings.
All right. Well, again, a lot of things going on in the operations department. Hitting several things here, different topics, but the first is the travel plan for the safe routes to school. So this is with Orange Township. We are currently also participating, working with, Ms. McDevitt has been working with Berlin Township, where they're working on a plan for a pass there as well. So we may see another one of these come up. But just a step the district has to do in support of the application for the grant is to approve the travel plan. The next one is the mobile lease modular, and that's to add 2 additional mobile classrooms to Indian Springs Elementary School, bringing the total there to 6 classrooms for next year to get us through until we're able to construct elementary number 18 and get that online. The next one is a nod to Mr. O'Brien a little bit with our annual, his favorite asphalt bid approval. So that's part of our PI that we do every year, as well as the windows. And the last one there for purchases is the chiller for Glen Oak Elementary School. And that one is also, we're at with the passage of the bond issue, we're able to be proactive in changing out equipment that we've had a lot of issues with. So it is such a plus that we're in a great position to be able to continue that now, so that we're not stuck in a situation where we've got equipment that's not running. We can try to be proactive with these replacemements as we go forward. The last one is a continuation of the pre-annexation agreement that the board approved in December for the utilities we're annexing into the city of Delaware, the High School 5 site, where they are bringing utilities to our site for us to be able to service that building. So this is the next step. The trustees, Delaware Township trustees, are set to approve their end of it on, my understanding is March 16th. The city would also be approving about that time, at which point you're authorizing me to submit the petition to the Delaware County, who would have to approve it and pass it back to the city. Any questions?
Yeah, a couple things. So go back to the paving, because we talked about in the district leadership team, just talk about, because we go out for early bidding and the cost savings we get as a district because of how early we are out to bid, and then obviously the scope of the work. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're hitting a lot of buildings around the district, and we are not. We've done repairs over time at different spots. So we don't hit one building at a time. We do repairs as needed and replacements. So we try to hit that before we have to get into the base. So we mill and grind and recoat that asphalt. So we hit probably 10 to 12 buildings sometimes in a summer at different times. And when we do that, we put the bids together and we try to get them out January, February timeframe, because you get the best value when you do that. So we got a price this year that was under $13 a square yard for asphalt. And that's rare to find that. One of it is our volume, the amount of asphalt we bid out, as well as getting out early, because those contractors want to have their contracts in place. They want to have their folks busy so that they're not looking for work in May and in June. So by getting out early, we're one of the first ones out, lock in the best pricing. When you bid in April or May with asphalt, roofing, some of the other things that we try to do early, you're getting contractors who already have filled their bids, and if they're bidding on it, they're likely bidding higher because they're paying overtime, or they want to make it worth their time to go out and get those contracts at that point, because the idea is to have them taken care of. Or you get contractors that haven't gotten bids, and sometimes those aren't always contractors you want to work with at the last people to bid on it in June. If they're looking for work in June, there's usually a reason why.
I appreciate that, and the reason I brought it up is because, again, just reminding folks about we want to stretch our dollars as far as we can, and how intentional we are within our departments in looking at any ways that we can save money or avoid cost. And with the capital plan and the permanent improvement needs across the district, because as we continue to grow, our buildings also continue to age. So, I know Jeff and his team does a really good job of being thoughtful and intentional on their approach to make sure that we're, getting the best value that we can with our dollars, and then obviously planning to maintain our facility. So.
Yeah, and it's really helpful, again, to thank the community for the bond issue that contributes on top of our PI to be able to do these things, because doing the large amounts and having the ability to have those funds there to get out is very beneficial. So thanks to the community and, of course, the board for your support on these.
Yeah, The only thing I'll add on it is we don't take any dollar from the community for granted.
Right.
Right. And so each one of these line items, it's not just whatever we can do. There's a level of thought and intentionality. I know Mr. Gordon and your team, you work really hard on it. That level and thoughtfulness of fiscal conservatism, it's something I know, again, Mr. O'Brien championed over time. It's something we on the board champion because we are here as a matter of public trust. We are trying to use the dollars as effectively as possible and trying to recognize, I look at one of these as the modulars, right? Look at some of these things where, when we do see costs that hopefully we can avoid through the construction of new buildings, we try to bring that up to the community, and we're very thankful that the community approved the bond issue to build the new schools. In the meantime, we've got to house students, but these are costs that we're trying to minimize as much as possible, so.
The Indian Springs line kind of jumped out at me too, because I'm curious, do you happen to know off the top of your head, percentage-wise, how over capacity Indian Springs will be this year, roughly?
I don't know the answer off the top of my head.
Roughly, okay.
It's about 175 kids is my.
175 kids over capacity.
So that takes you up to about 800 students or so.
Maybe a little higher, 150.
900. I mean, that's a lot of kids for that.
And again, so Liberty Tree, so again, our two elementaries with the largest enrollment, Liberty Tree Elementary and Indian Springs Elementary. Liberty Tree is using the 6 connector classrooms, so that's equivalent to 6 trailers.
Right.
That connects to Hyatt's there. And they'll be using those again next year. So we had, from when we first put the trailers in, 4 classrooms, anticipated adding 2 more.
Yeah.
Because we weren't successful in '24, just to accommodate one more year of the student population in Indian Springs before we go through redistricting. If you remember, through redistricting, the redistricting committee decided not to redistrict next year as far as pocket redistricting because elementary 18 will open in the fall of '27, and we do not want to move kids twice.
Yeah.
So again, it's just part of the process, and how thoughtful I think our folks are in the committee was in making that recommendation.
Do you might not know this, it's okay. Do you anticipate needing any trailers in fall of '27 for elementary?
No, not right now.
And I definitely realize that a big spike could change that. I get it.
And we could, so right now anticipating fall of '27, no. However, we're going to continue to grow. So I wouldn't sit here and say our trailers will not be back in the district at some point because, again, we'll continue to monitor the growth and what that means facility-wise as we continue to move forward.
I'm just trying to make the connection between the fact that we're opening the elementary in '27 and that's going to actually save us money that is just, because we don't get that 152,051 back, right?
Correct.
I'm guessing leases work the same with trailers that they do with other stuff, and once you rent that money's gone, and we don't have that trailer anymore. And I guess, really, trailers work great for a short uptick in enrollment. But not a long-term solution.
No, it's not.
So, yeah, hopefully we can continue to stay ahead of the growth. Maybe these will be the last trailers we ever have in Olentangy.
Maybe. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gordon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So now we're on to our action items. So the first is a board action item. It's approval of the revised charter for the Board Committee on Wellbeing and Mental Health. This is something we created that charter a couple years ago as that committee was coming online, and we said that we would review and revise it over time, so this is just a revision of that. So I will entertain a motion to approve the revised charter for the Committee on Wellbeing and Mental Health.
So moved.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Right, hearing none. Mr. Jenkins.
Dr. Dabrico?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mr. Lester?
Yes. All right, Mr. Jenkins, the treasurer consent action items.
As board members, this evening, there are 5 items that I'm asking you to consider as one slate of action items with one motion and vote. Item A, recommending the acceptance of the January 2026 financials. Item B, approval of the noted donations from the treasurer's report. Item C, approval of the February 5th board meeting minutes. Item D, approval of the fiscal year 2026 amended permanent appropriation resolution. And item E, approval of the restated 403B plan and adoption agreement effective January 1, 2026. Again, I'm asking for all of these to be by one single motion and vote, unless someone would like to pull an item out and discuss and vote on it separately.
Would anyone like to discuss any of these separately? All right, hearing no interest, I'll entertain a motion to approve them as a single slate of consent action
So
items.
moved.
In a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, Mr. Jenkins.
Dr. Wallach,
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber,
Yes.
Mr. Lester,
Yes.
Dr. Daberco.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, the standalone action item.
Yes, and we have a standalone action item, as again discussed in the treasurer's report. This is the annual slate of Board of Revision complaints for taxable values for 2026. And if there are questions about that, I'll entertain them.
All right, any questions about that? All right, then I will entertain a motion to approve the Board of Revision resolutions.
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none, Mr. Jenkins.
I guess I should qualify while we're doing it in 26, it's for the 25 lien year because taxes are a year in arrears. So,
Well, that changes everything.
Yeah, hold on a minute.
Ms. Schreiber,
Yes.
Mr. Lester?
Yes.
Dr. Daberco?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Meyer, the superintendent consent action items.
Thank you, Mr. Lester. Board members, I recommend approval of the following superintendent consent action items A through H. A, specific human resource items administrative. B, specific human resource items certified staff. C, specific human resource items classified staff. D, specific human resource items classified substitutes. E, specific human resource items supplementals. F, approval of student clubs and overnight out-of-state field trips. And again, the student club is at Hyatt's Best Buddies Club, and that club creates one-to-one friendships between students with and without intellectual and developmental disabilities. They want to create a 200 account because they want to create a 200 account and collect money. That's the reason it's on the agenda for tonight. And then the out-of-state field trip, this is an outlier because this came up where students were selected to present at a national conference. So we'll have 7 students from Olentangy Orange High School present at the Student Power Summit in March. So that's on there for approval. G, approval of 2026-27 student fees as discussed by Dr. Blackley, and then approval of business and management and facility items as discussed by Mr. Gordon. I'm asking you to approve these items by one single action and vote unless you'd like to discuss any of these items separately.
Would anyone like to discuss any of these items separately? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve them as a single slate of consent action items.
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I'll just add that the Best Buddies Club is really awesome. My
Yeah.
daughter's actually at a Best Buddies event for Liberty High School tonight, and it's a wonderful club, so I'm glad that they're expanding it to the middle school level. All right, Mr. Jenkins, please call the roll.
Mr. Lester?
Yes.
Dr. Daberco?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber?
Yes.
All right, I'll now entertain a motion to convene into executive session as permitted by Ohio Revised Code 12122G1 to consider the employment or compensation of a public employee and/or to consider the appointment of a public official. Can I have a motion to so convene?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none, Mr. Jenkins. Oh, I should note that we will only be coming back to adjourn. We will not be taking any substantive action.
That's the only other thing I was going to bring up. You normally say that before.
Yeah.
Dr. Daberco?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mr. Lester?
Yes. All right, thank you. We are All right, good. All right, it is 9:07 PM. We are returning from executive session. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, let me just write this down. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. Dr. Daberco?
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Mr. Lester? Yes. All right, we are.